Morning, race fans. It is November 17th, 2023. It is 4:23 a.m. in Central Time. It is 2:23 a.m. in local track time at Pacific time. We're about to get some cars on track. Hey everyone, this is the Racing 60 YouTube channel, and this is our live coverage of the very late in the morning, dead of night free practice 2. Hi, it's Crash. I've been up all night with you guys. This is going to be very interesting. So how did we get here? In FP1, we ran about 9 minutes, and Carlos Sainz ran over basically a drain cover. And the drain cover was, don't get me wrong, the drain cover was welded into place as it should be. He took the drain cover and the chassis around it right out of the ground, and it caused significant damage to his car. We'll talk about that. The other driver that took damage was Esteban Ocon. His car actually had to change his chassis, the survivable unit, that's what they say in the FAI documents, but the chassis was replaced on his car. One of the issues now with Carlos Sainz is that because they had to put new parts in, specifically a lot of different parts, he's technically has a grid penalty. I think it's a 10-place grid penalty, as I understand, for the allocation of parts. Ferrari has made an appeal because of that issue, but it's been denied because essentially there's nothing in the rules that allow for the stewards to account for what has happened. We know Ocon's car has been repaired. I'm not sure Sainz has been fully repaired. He is in the paddock, and it looks like he probably will go out. Is what I think he probably will eventually get out. Just not 100% sure at the moment at the moment right now. What's the track temperature? That's a good call. Let's see. So right now it's about 52 degrees, which is better than expected, to be quite honest. We could have been in the 40s easily. But right now at 2:30, it's about 52 degrees. It'll stay about 52 degrees. We'll drop probably to 51. So we'll drop about a degree before the sunrise comes up. One of the things that you'll see is that essentially the air temperature is going to be lower than the track temperature, and that's to be expected basically when you're dealing with it, and that's something that it's just common in this area of the country. Yeah, 2:30 a.m. for free practice. Damn, yeah, that's pretty much. So one of the things, this is like the last moment at which they could start the practice for free practice 2. Do we start time? Yeah, it's about 2-3 minutes from now, Mattis. Yeah, the stands are empty. Basically, they closed down the hospitality stuff. It was just a logistical thing. They just couldn't keep it open, so they've closed because they closed down the hospitality. They have basically sent all the fans home. So, and you guys are like really don't like this. We've got a lot of trolls in chat, and be honest, they've been pushing their luck in chat all night long. Rights on FP2 possibly not confirmed as of yet. He is a penalty because of engine parts. That's why he's getting it. Why he has a penalty, which is unfortunately it's unfortunate because it's not his fault. So some of you are getting timed out for the bot saying that you have posted a link. Um, if you don't put a space after a period, if you like write a sentence and then don't put a space after a period, it thinks you've put out a link into chat. And that's why you're getting timed out. So just to give you guys a heads up, the bot is not written very well. And there's not much we can do about it at this moment. What order is this? I have no clue what order. It's been just jumbled up as far as I can tell. Because Sergeant is too. A lot of you saw that Sergeant was out in, like, right now all the drivers are in basically in a spot in the middle of nowhere. That's because they haven't gone on to track yet. So one of the things that happened in FP1, because we only went 9 minutes, the only person who did not get on track at any shape or form was Logan Sargent. So his car dot stayed where it is right now, that this no man's land. So until cars get on track, they will stay there. They practice this late? No, this is not normal. We had a 2-hour delay on top of what we were expecting because of basically they needed to fix the track. What we've been told is that the fix that they're using, they have used before. They used it in when they had a similar issue with Baku. They have basically pulled out the drain covers, and they basically use a resin and concrete mixture to basically cap off those drain pipes that needed to be the drains that needed to be covered. And we've got about 15 seconds to go before we get a green light. The beautiful animation of a timer on the dome, the sphere, I should say, about to happen. Here we go. 5 seconds to go, and we will have a green light. Again, I don't know who is broadcasting this at this point. I am watching F1 TV, so that's how I'm seeing what has happened. Again, we have just gotten a green light for FP2. And it looks like we've got the McLarens coming out right away. What's the local time in Vegas? I believe it's 2:30 in the morning, local time in Vegas. So one of the things that's in play here is that they're going to run 90 minutes, and that's going to bring up at 4 o'clock. They have to reopen up the track to normal traffic. I'm looking at chat. Someone's trying to be funny. Please, like, don't put bad information to chat, because we've had enough of that tonight, to be quite honest. Um, so ultimately, basically, they have to reopen these roads that the track is on to local traffic at 4:30. That's part of the agreement with the local government. We've got Max Verstappen coming out on track. We've got Ocon. Ocon is interesting because he's got a new helmet, and it's inspired a Deadpool inspired helmet. And he did show it off to Ryan Reynolds, who is in the area for the event. So there's link in Discord to the F1 article about when SD Bestie showed off his helmet to Deadpool. So it looks like McLaren has come out on soft tires, and then we've got a mix of soft and medium tires right now. Max is on a medium tire, and Sonoda's on a medium tire. So that's interesting. It is cold, but it's not. It could be much colder. It could have been, like, again, it's like 12 degrees right now. It could have been like 10, 9, or 8 degrees very easily. I'm just looking right now, things in chat, looking at what's going on track right now. One of the 27. No, it's going to go run for an hour and 27 minutes. We've got an hour and 26 minutes left to go in the session, so we've got a haul to do already. Ooh. So something's wrong with um, Lando's car. They've basically limp home mode is basically what they're calling it. Is YouTube 2 going to broadcast? No. So basically, again, if ESPN is showing, it's probably on not. If it's not on ESPN2, look for like ESPN News. Yeah, don't like part of like given with these practices, go look for like ESPN News or ESPN University is where F1 may show up on the ESPN channels. I don't know anything about any of the other like Sky Sports, or I know Buying is another one. I just don't know where they would be, how they would be handling this. When you watch F1 for free, you really can't watch it for free unless you got access to Sky Sports or ESPN. Um, like I have access to ESPN Plus, but I've actually paid out for F1 TV because I wanted the reliability and the access. So we've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. So that yellow flag has been cleared, and we're back to green flag already. What's wrong with Langen's car? We're not sure what's wrong. They've told him to come back into the pits. And yes, this is FP2. Frank Tree's telling us it's live on Sky Sports F1 right now. Cool. Thank you for that update. Lando going, he stopped or was he slow? Okay, the yellow flag was for Kevin Magnussen missing a turn and going in a runoff area. Nice. Basically locked up his tires. It doesn't look like he may have flatted it, but it's. Yeah, and again, we're because of where we are right now. Sergio Perez doing a runoff as well. So they are learning this track, and they are trying. Ooh, that's a nice flip by Sergio. So they're trying to warm up these tires any way possible at this point. So in free practice, when we saw, I think the lowest time was a 1:41. They had almost gotten to the 1:40s. With the track being colder, I have no clue what our times are going to look like as we go forward. So you guys have been talking about this. So there's been a lot of discussion about the old track, and that was in I believe, the Caesar Palace car park. Well, they can't race there, and that's basically because the Bellagio, I believe it's the Bellagio Hotel, is actually built where that car park existed back in the day. So they literally cannot race in the old car park because there's a new facility in that location now. Yes, Science is back, and he is actually in P1 with a 139.891. He's on soft tires, and it looks like they took a few laps to get up to speed. What happened to Lando? Not really sure exactly what happened. At some point during his first lap out, The engineers basically told him to limp back home. We got now Charles Leclerc coming in with a 1:40.007. That's a little bit faster than the lap that he did in FP1. So again, our timer is an hour and 21 minutes. So it did, because we had such basically only ran 9 minutes in FP1. They've extended this practice to get basically time in for the drivers. Jordan Hill's asking, why did they clear out the cloud? It's more of a logistic issue. Basically, they could not maintain the hospitality and the fan zones. Basically, they hit like 2:30. They weren't prepared or expected. There was no expectation that they would be able to keep those open. So because they had to close those, it was basically being a logistical. They basically sent the fans home. So we have no fans in the stand, which is very interesting at the moment. Are any of the fans getting refunds? I have no clue what's going on. So Leclerc has done basically a full purple lap. So he improved on his time. He's in 1:38.9. Sainz is now second. And Verstappen is third, 1:40.8. So a tenth. No, sorry, much a little bit more. Alonso has now jumped in front of Alonso. Perez is now fifth. Right now, in terms of a flying lap, right now we've got Hamilton currently seventh. Garbage lap time, but he's has fastest first sector. He's improving in his second sector at the moment. Not the fastest. He's about a tenth off in that second sector from Leclerc. So he's on pace to maybe have a fastest lap. I'm just looking right now at the moment what you guys are saying. Moment. Casey is saying part of the issue with so Hamilton has now gone P1 with a 1:38.876. What is expected is that um, uh, that the M14, the Mercedes car, doesn't have the straight line speed, and they've a lot of people have compared this track to Monza. Basically, Monza with brick walls is essentially how they've expressed it. What happened with Norris again? He went out on his first lap, and there was something wrong with the car, and went back to basically managed to limp back to the pits. So he's only done 2 laps so far. It looks like Oscar is back in the pits as well. So they did essentially installation laps and have come back into the pits. So like, hello, my fellow Texan. Um, yeah, it's not it's bad, but it's not as bad as East Coast. Yeah, East Coast right now it's 5:42 in the morning on the East Coast for this practice. Again, 4:22. So that's Dallas and Chicago time, and then track time is 2:42 right now. That's Pacific time in the United States. But hey, you guys, in European times, you've got a great time to watch this. Apparently. So Science is just back into P1 with 138.537. Max is in P2 with a 138.625. So about within a tenth difference between Max and Carlos right now. The fact that Carlos is out after what happened in FP1, I'm actually amazed, because there was like 4 or 5 different major parts of the car that was replaced. Van Townsend saying he's watching from his hotel room in the Horseshoe. You can see 4 different spots. That's wicked cool. What's happened to Pass? He's come back into the pits, basically, is all that we know. Basically did a formation lap, basically, installation lap. Looks like we've had a yellow, someone's gone off the track and it's come back on. What are they? Let's take a. Ooh. And Lance Stroll has spun, is the best description of what has happened. He's back onto track and back into moving again. Take a look at a replay. I'm trying to figure out where. What did he do? He came to one of the chicanes. Okay, he locked up all his brakes, and then could not do the chicane properly, and then came across the track. It's very weird. Gasly just did a new time, fastest third sector, but he did a 140 though, 140.645. So again, we've got a lot of the cars are really packed up. We're talking about within 2 seconds of each other from P1 through almost P12. 2.5 seconds if we go to P13, P14, I should say. So that's not a lot of leeway in terms of things. Perez getting a little bit of traffic in this current lap. Max under the flying lap. He's got the fastest second sector, so he's improved in that particular sector part of the track. He's now on basically the straightaway at the moment. He's on the strip. Perez coming onto the strip at this point now. And even with wow, this is just a great view. The race is going to be awesome when we get to it. And again, we've got people who just want to be here to be. Why is Oscar 15th? Is 19th? Basically, he went out and did a installation lap, came into the pits. So he hasn't really set a time. His time is a 143, which is the second slowest after his teammate. Basically, just did installation lap. He's back on track now, and he's on an out lap specifically. Joshua thinks he can hear the cars from his apartment. Wow, you guys, people who are actually in Vegas and chat, that's really cool that you're here. The fact that you're awake at this time, we appreciate that you guys are here. And if you can tell us more about what your experience right now, that'd be great. Oscar setting a flying lap out of the gate right now. What happened to Gasly? I don't think anything has happened per se with Gasly. He's just the time he's 15th. That's where he is right now. He's been brought into the pits. I mean, they're chatting. I mean, they're going to be in and out of the pits a lot during this session because they're going to doing a lot of different setups. What time is it there in Vegas? It is 2:48 a.m. in Vegas right now. And Max again has taken P1. So our top of the board right now, we've got Max, we've got Charles, we've got Carlos, Perez in the top 4. Hamilton is 5th. Magnussen is 6th. His teammate Hulkenberg is 11 because Sargent just moved up to 8th. So Albon and Sargent are 7th and 8th. So this is part of what we kind of expected, is that the Williams were going to do particularly well on this track. That back section of the track is ultimately like it's pure straight line speed, and those cars are built for that. LX, dude, who or what did you irk to get us into this mess? For those who are new to the channel, I basically, if you see on, there's a cheese counter essentially, and I get a lot of red flags when I stream during the practice sessions, and I'm on a two session streak. So FP3 Brazil and FP1 of now FP2. I'm sorry, FP1. I've gotten red flags. I've seen a six session streak. I'm also Joji for One TV is broadcasting the practice. I've got it right in front of me. Try refreshing. You may need to refresh the webpage to bring it up. Unfortunately. Why is Hamilton going so slow? It's not that he's going so slow. It's just that his car is not built for straight line speed. This is a track like Monza. Galazine, did anyone watch the Open? I did watch the Open. I enjoyed it. I don't know why you think it was embarrassing. It had several great performances. Bands that I didn't know, songs that I didn't know. Albon has just gone P3. He's 3/10 behind Max. So that's like, again. So Gasly's given a black and white flag, failing to follow race directions, crossing the pit lane, the line at the pit entry. So again, I've been known to have royally piss off the F1 gods. I don't know what I did this time to cause this delay and the red flag. Don't know what I did this time, but I really pissed off the F1 gods and caused whatever this is. We've got Tsunoda right now coming through the speed trap. He's picking up speed. He's going to hit 300. Is he going to hit 300? He hit 291 before he needed to brake. Why have so many drivers pitted? Setup reasons, most likely. I mean, they're trying to figure out what's the best setup for the car for this track. So again, most likely it is they're doing some sort of tweak on the car, most likely at this point. And yeah, you are not seeing things. Album is P3 right now in this second practice. Yeah, the Williams Limit Pro is mentioning that Williams can easily hit 300 kilometers per hour on this track. Yeah, I mean their car is basically built for straight line speed. And here we're looking at George Russell getting a little bit of lateral movement. Ooh, car lifting a little bit. That's interesting. No, Felix, this is just practice. This is just practice, not even qualifying. We're basically in our FP2. Tomorrow, we will see, tomorrow, meaning after we've gone to sleep and woken back up, we will have FP3. And then on top of that, we will then get qualification. The race is basically, for me, it's going to be midnight sun as midnight as Saturday rolls over to Sunday morning. It's a 10 p.m. local start. So local start on Saturday. That is equivalent to basically the So if you do time zone translations, that's about the same time as the Melbourne Australian Grand Prix. What's the problem with Leclerc? He just went P2. He's P2, my friend. I'm not sure there's nothing wrong with him. I mean, Sainz is P4. A lot of you are bringing up that Sainz is getting penalized. He will be penalized right now for parts allocation rules, and ultimately, because he had to replace so many things, he's gone over different allocation limits, and he's going to get penalties for those allocations. And that is harsh because it's not even his fault for why he has to put those parts in. Ferrari did they've appealed it, but I don't think they've done appealing. I think they're going to go again because the issue basically is the stewards understand what happened with him, but have denied any compensation or to allow him to take those parts regardless, because there's nothing in the rules to allow them to do so. What? Seriously, we've only been out on track for like 25 minutes in this session. It's a new track. I mean, I don't know why again. You know, people want to be like, this is a hell of a track, and I'm like, what? How can you say that? We've only seen 30 minutes of running. And unfortunately, I've got to moderate these people because they're just coming in and trying to avoid, coming in here and saying, "Oh, this is a travesty." Does nothing. You're not adding anything to the conversation. Be honest, you were going to say this regardless. Even if we didn't have a red flag, if we didn't have the delay, you were going to come in here and say that anyways. So, goodbye. And frankly, we don't want you here. I mean, I'll be honest with you, we've grown over 108,000 subscribers. We were in 107s in FP1. So we're still growing. You don't need to be here. MV33 3-year guarantee. He's talking about basically so Vegas is going to be here for at least 10 years. Part of what's going on, it's guaranteed 3 years, but F1 is the promoter and organizer of the race. And that's the big difference between all the other races. F1 is they're basically cutting out the middleman, and they're going to take they're going to recoup all of the money. No, the track is not underprepared. No, to say that's actually wrong. That's very wrong. Don't get me wrong. I mean, yes, they had an issue with the drains, but they had a solution for it. They had a solution. Anyone knows what the pit building we use while F1 is out of America and Vegas? Talking about the U.S. headquarters, it is going to be the U.S. headquarters for F1. It's going to be home base for F1 in the United States. That's part of what that building is going to be. It helps. You know, they've built that building to be the paddock, but like when 2-3 weeks from now, that's going to be the primary offices of F1 in the United States. I mean, I'm don't know what to tell you. F1 is, it's still growing in the United States. Again, someone's bringing up about the like, well, they should have like, dude, they ripped off it's not just the cover, they ripped off the mounting for the cover as well. Like normally those are both welded to stay in place. They ripped up the mounting for the drain cover, and that's the issue that we were facing. So, and again, unfortunately, one came off in FP1, damaged Science car, damages Ocon's car. When they did the inspection, they found a couple dozen other drains that they needed to do the same fix as well. And yeah, I mean, like, how would you know that that was going to happen? I just really don't, can't really tell you how that you could account for that. What time is in Vegas right now? It is about 3 a.m. We're about a minute to 3 a.m. in Vegas right now. It's not that the test. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like the drain. I mean, they've. Authentic Memorabilia points out that this is they have seen this before on other tracks, and they basically deployed the same fix. Like at Baku, they found this in Baku, and they had an issue with this in Baku, and the fix they used in Baku they have used here. So it's a nor they know how to fix it. They've Yeah, we've got Perez. It looks like going through the strip, and he misses the turn and has to bounce around, which is not the first time he's done tonight. Yeah, they should know how to. They do know how to fix it because they did it in Baku. They did it. They've done it elsewhere. So Clerk has gone fastest in Sector 2. So in the past few minutes, Science has gone one with 136. Leclerc is basically has gone the fastest Sector 2. He's done a 137.29. So he's about 3/10 off his teammate. More 2.5, I'd say. Perez is P3 right now, and Verstappen is P4. They're all on track. Albon is P5. Hamilton is P6. Hamilton just came out on an out lap. Norris is P7. He's in the pits right now. Bottas, Magnussen, Sargent. Sargent in the pits. Arcon is in the pits. Alonso on track. Hulkenberg is on track. Ricardo on track. Stroll, Russell, Sonoda, Gasly, and Zhou are on track. And then Oscar is in the pits right now. So it's looking like McLaren still having issues with their car. They're not haven't been able to dial in yet. Um, they have been the past few races. They have been hidden in the practice sessions and only to dial that in and um, basically get hit their marks in qualification. Someone's asking like the design circuit. I actually do like the design circuit. Particularly, it's the sector, the end of sector 2 going into sector 3, that long curve going on the Vegas Straight. That is built for speed. And that section right there is as close as you're going to get to an oval track at F1 as you're going to get. Again, I'm a fan of IndyCar and the Indianapolis 500, and that's an oval track. Oval tracks are designed for speed, and that section when I saw that screams just pure speed, and that's part of why. And the fact of doing that down the Vegas the straight is pretty amazing. The other part of this track that has caught me by surprise, I believe it's after turn 5. It goes up north, and it's around basically we've effectively called one of the legs of the pig. That's the section when you get past turn 5, they're now driving past what is the Vegas sphere. And that actually shows up. You can see that in, like if you're following a particular driver around track on one of their onboards, you can see that on their onboards. And that's pretty amazing. Yeah, Ricardo basically dealing with traffic around, specifically Hamilton. Looking through right now. And is looking right now other things. Again, Leclerc has now gone P1, Sainz P2. They've gone into the 136 respectively, and they're about a tenth and a half difference between. No, just a tenth between the two of them. Verstappen, Perez P3, P4, Albon P5, Bottas P6, Russell P7, Ricardo P8, Hamilton P9, and Magnussen P10. Uh, Oscar is still in the pits. He's only done 9 laps, so he's not done a lot on track so far. The only one lower is actually Norris, and he's in the pits as well. Ocon is the only other one in the pits right now. Everyone is on track. I would assume there's some sort of tinkering that they're doing with his car, and he should be out. I'm not sure what is actually going on with the McLarens. They're not looking good in this practice session. Worried about Yuki, hoping it's a high fuel run. So Yuki right now, where is Yuki? He is P19, and he has done 16 laps. So it probably is a high fuel run. It's a race simulation. I would say that with Hulkenberg and with Perez and Sainz to a certain extent. No, I think there's something going on with the McLarens. Someone's asking if Gasket to cover. No, I think it's more an issue with the car. It's an actual setup issue, and because Lando's in the garage as well, has been in the garage. Well, I say that they have just come out of the garage, and now we've got a replay of Lance Stroll. What has he done now? He hits a curb and bounces. A little bit of air on one of his tires as Stroll goes over the curbs. One of the interesting things they've done with the curbs is, it's the normal that white and red. They've actually gone in and they've stenciled in the card suits symbols on the curbs as you go, and it's a cool. It's just cool to see that. The design of this track and the visual design of the track is really cool. There's more like one of the pit lanes is a purple line, which is really cool. Leclerc now on a new flying lap, already sector 1, sector 2 fastest times. Well, he's on the straight. See how he finishes his lap. Not necessarily improving his time on that straightaway. And Pierre just did went off the runoff and did a flip a flip around. And Leclerc's going to stay with a one. He's going to improve his time. He's at a 136.77. People are asking why, like, it's not showing their fastest time per se. It's showing their last lap. It's there's this overlay between showing it to their best lap and their last lap, and that's just how the timing board works. People are basically up in arms about the fact that Sainz is going to get a 10-place penalty, and that's basically because of parts allocation rules. And people are quick to point out that it's not his fault because he took damage because of the course. The problem ultimately comes down to is that the stewards understand that, but they see the rules and they don't see anything in the rules that allow to can waive the parts allocation for him. There's nothing in the rules to allow them to waive that. Isn't right now in the fastest sectors right now? Leclerc is fastest sector 1, sector 2. Hamilton is the fastest in sector 3, and he's just done a P. Just gone to P2, 136.667 So he is 0.082. Yeah, he's just done. Wow, he's done 0.003 slower than Leclerc's time. So no, people are like complaining about like this is the course screwed him. This is the fact. No, that doesn't mean that Las Vegas is trash. No, that's a problem in the rules. That's a rule problem. That's not a track problem. Logan Sargent going. What are they doing a replay of him for? Sargent right now is P13 on the grid. Well, people are saying the manhole cover was a track problem. It's been fixed. Been fixed. And don't get me wrong, like I feel like I don't know what the stewards could have done because there's nothing in the rules to account for what happened on track. That's the wall. That's the wall that the stewards are facing. They would, if they could, they would have done something. Hulkenberg is getting a black and white flag for the pit lane, crossing the pit lane. So that's something we've already seen two drivers get that black and white flag. It wasn't Joe. It's just Esteban. Esteban. He's the only other driver. So it was Sainz. He took the bulk of the damage when he went through, and then Ocon. They had to replace the chassis in his car because he also hit that train as well. Like I mean, people are annoyed about the manhole thing. Like they fixed it. Like yes, I know that it is late right now. I mean, literally, it's 5:12 a.m. for me. It is 3:12 a.m. in the morning um, at Vegas. Yes, that is. There's no people in the stands. I understand that, but they did fix the issue. That's the big thing. I mean, literally, we had people in here like during FP1 and during the when they're showing what Hulkenberg did. He went over the pit lane just by a little bit. But like literally, we had people in here saying because of the manhole issue that the race should be canceled, and I'm like, what? Um, we had an issue in Canada where the track cameras were failing. We didn't hear people say cancel the Canadian Grand Prix. No. And again, another part of it is like here's another thing. They're annoyed by F1 changing the American F1 circus. Like, what do you expect, guys? You're here in the United States. We do big events here in the United States. I mean, one thing that's interesting about F1 is that every single race in F1 is like a Super Bowl. Wherever they go, it's like a Super Bowl going to that city. Like, you guys were angry about Miami, about the spectacle at Miami. I've been saying this all year long. Like, if you didn't like Miami, you're not gonna the spectacle here that you see in Vegas. You're gonna hate anyways. And a lot of you are saying like, "Oh, USFA should be once a season in Coda, and that's it." Dude, the United States is huge. We're big, just as big as Europe. And of course, people go point to China, but China is a special case. We'll put China in a little box because China is a special case. But when you talk about the United States, you're talking about not we're not we're a single country, but we've got 50 states, dude. We've got 50 different states, and we've got other colonies and territories. Paolo brings up the size of Great Britain fits inside the state of Texas. Yeah, and basically like one race a country is enough. And I've yeah, but you look at Europe, the EU specifically. I mean, like the United States is about the same size as the EU. I mean, the EU is multiple countries. And the problem is you're looking at the United States as a single country. You should be looking about the United States as multiple states. What about India? Is that a special case? As I learned more about India, what happened with Indian F1, yes, it's very much. Um, let's yeah, India is a very special case, and stuff went on. Things went on in India that caused why basically F1 is not in India because India doesn't want F1. It's basically what it comes down to. Um, when we talk about size, I mean, it's not just, I mean, you guys are going to like, oh, landmass, Canada and Russia. Yeah, but the population isn't there. The population isn't there. The population in the United States is on par with the population of the EU. And to be honest with you guys, and we've got a yellow flag in Sector 3, and we've gone back to green flag, so someone's gone off track and come back on. And yeah, it is about money. I mean, it's a business. And the United States, there's a huge opportunity to F1 to grow in the United States. And you guys keep, and this comes up every race in the United States, particularly with, it came up in particularly with Miami. It's coming up now. But basically, one of the things that's going on with motor racing here in the United States, F1 is kicking everyone's behind. The only other racing series in the United States that does better than F1 is NASCAR. F1 has already superseded our premier open wheel racing, which is IndyCar. Ooh, we got one of the Williams locking up. So going right now. Since we've talked, Leclerc is still P1. Hamilton is P2. Albon has jumped up to P3 again. He's did a 136.688. He is wow. So we are within 1/10. P1, P3, P4 are all within 1/10 of each other. Hamilton is 0.03 behind Leclerc. Albon is 0.028 behind Albon. Sainz is 0.82 behind Leclerc. Russell is next with 2 point, about a quarter of a second. Alonso 0.3 of a second. I'm sorry, it's Max 0.3 of a second. Alonso fastest first sector. He's improved in the second sector. He's going to improve in his third sector. He's going to beat out. Am I reading this? Oh wow! He's going to beat out Leclerc by another 0.03. 0.003. So P1 through P5 are now within 1/10 of each other. That's pretty crazy. Sorry, thank you. 3,000 is not. Thank you. It is again 5:20 in the morning. I've been up all night with delays. What happened to everyone? They got out on track and they've raced. Is Max done practicing? That's a good question. Where is um he may be coming out in a little bit because Perez just came out on track. So they may be doing some sort of tinkering with his car. They just got Checo back on track. Looking at let's take a look at the bottom of the board. Hulkenberg right now is P20, 17 laps. The ones who've done the most laps right now: Tsunoda 21, Sargent 21, Stroll 22, Hamilton 21, and Alonso 22. I think they just put soft tires on Alonso. So they've been doing a bunch of different things with them. We've got about 38 minutes left. We've gone about almost a whole hour with this session. Again, this is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel. This is Grash, the biased American, as you guys are calling me in chat. I am living right now in Texas, though I am from the New England area. Please don't talk to me about the New England Patriots. It's bad. It's really, really bad. No. So Sophia is calling this an American Indian Casino GP. No, this is not the casino. This is not the casino. Indian casinos. Not at all. No, no, no. Vegas does not have. There are several casinos that are run by Indian tribes. Most notably, Connecticut has two of the big ones, Mohegan and I'm blanking on the other one at the top of my head. But like those are Indian casinos. Vegas is not associated with that, so that's a mistake. She was saying love from India. Hello, my friend from India. And do we have Max is now coming out on track? So basically, they did some sort of tinkering on his car, and he's now back on track. Uh, Again, Alonso has gone P1. We're again looking at P1 through 5 within P6. Who's jumped up? It's Perez has jumped into P5. And so he is 0.053 behind Alonso. So we've got P1 through P6 all within a tenth of each other, which is crazy. Mountain Joe is asking, what are your predictions for the GP results? It's hard to not say that Max is going to win because just how dominant he has been. Science right now on a flying lap. He's improved in his sector 1, sector 2. It's hard, but this is one of those. Ferrari's up there right now. Hamilton's up there right now. Albon's up there right now. There could be very much a mixed bag um, beyond the mixed bag beyond. Science has just gone P1. He is wow. Okay, so no P1 through P7 is within a tenth. Well, no, sorry. P2 through P7 is a tenth. Science did a 136.354. Wow, that's a big improvement. Max right now on his lap, and he's going to go P1 136.370. So P1, P2 are within a tenth, and then P3 through P7 are within a tenth. This is crazy. I mean, like we're talking within a tenth with each other is insane in terms of how our the the pack has bunched up in significant ways, and small mistakes, small minor mistakes, are gonna be could put you out of P, could drop you out of Q2 and not make you into Q3. Leclerc right now has got purple sector 1, sector 2. He's improving in sector 3 times, but not fastest so far. Not necessarily getting the best. I've been looking over. He's done good sector 1, sector 2 times, but then gets to the straight, and just not there for some reason. He's improving in his sector 3 time, but not a dominant faster sector 3, and he's not going to get that. So he's going to go. So Leclerc is basically going to be the first one in the 135.696. So people are asking about stars, but by their names, these are people who have joined the channel, whether they are paying themselves or have gotten a gift subscription. Excuse me. And that's why their names are in green. One of the benefits for being a member in that way is that you get a array of emojis. If I can click them all. There we go. Just drop down in the chat. They have a basically an array of basically special emojis that are specific to our channel. I've referred to them as the family because they are there are mostly the regular people who've been here on the most of the time. The other way you can find who's been on regular, there's a point system basically by being here in chat, by talking in chat, and there's a couple other things like super chats and a couple other things, donations also, a couple other things in that regards can give you points. At the end of the year, excuse me. Basically, there's going to be a simulated race, like basically a marble race with we got some racing going on here with Gasly, one of the McLarens. The McLaren finally gets past Gasly, but ultimately there'll be a simulated race, for fun basically, and then so the top chatters basically are put into that race. as they race around the sphere, they've got an animation of basically of a like a yellow face emoji underneath a F1 helmet, and they've got basically it moving, looking like it's looking at the drivers on track, and it's just that particular one is the one that gets me. Of pretty, that's creepy. Yellow flag in sector 1 and 2, and it's green flag again. So someone went off the track, and then rejoined. Is basically what happens. Is Sainz running in FP2? Yes, he is, and he is currently third. He's in P3 right now, on the board. Coco Hulkenberg jumped up to P4, and this is one of those mixed up. Yeah, simulated race. No, it's simulated. It's a marble, like essentially it was a marble race. Was it yellow banned off the sphere? No, I don't think so. They're using it on the sphere for that particular animation. Why are they using so many softs? That's a good question. That's a good question. It may be because I know softs typically get up the temperature faster than everyone else. They're faster, they're grippier. That's true. As with Goliath says, they don't last as long. That is true. We've got Russell missing one of the turns in the T-Mobile section of the track. Hey guys, is it 3:30 a.m. there? No, it's actually 3:30 a.m. And is there something wrong with it's another? No, Russell's moving on track, so it was just there in that section of the track a little bit longer. I believe joining does increase the rate that you gain points as well. I don't know all the rules for it. I know all the basic stuff related to the points. And we just passed less than 30 minutes left in this session right now. Again, we've gone an hour already. This session was extended because we basically only went 9 minutes in FP1, and this being a new track, the drivers really needed that time. So we've got a 90-minute session for this. Ooh, coming close to the wall there. Magnussen, I forget who is one of the Williams was in the way, and Magnussen has to go around him. Glass asking, is FP3 today or tomorrow before quali? So for me, it's today because it is now Friday. It's 5:31 a.m. Friday. Um, for me, FP3 is going to take place at 10:30 p.m. At night today, Friday. But quali is going Okay. Thank you, everyone. I should be back now. You guys hear me now? Yep, I am broadcasting. Hooray for mobile data. Who is which? Which? Yeah, drivers are turn 12 are missing that. One of the Aston Martins missed turn 12. Thank you. Sorry about that. I'm not sure why things happened. I'm going to reconnect on. I should be better now. Can you order curry chips? Sure. Go right ahead. What happened to Alonso? Alonso P2. Basically, Leclerc has gone faster than him. He's done a 135.265. Sainz is P3. Price P4. Bottas P5. Verstappen P6. Hulkenberg P7. And this is one of those. Hulkenberg is up in the top 10 right now. Albon is in the top 10 right now. Stroll is in the top 10 right now. So we're getting a lot of. Yeah, the microphone, even the audio microphone guys. Don't blame me for the Patriots. That's this is historically bad. But moving on, why the upside down pig? I mean, that's how we see the track essentially. Is that we look at it as the upside down pig. Um, just how we are accounting for how the track is shaped. People are saying deformed bunny. They have other people, but because the upside down pig has catched on. That's why you're hearing spider pig. This is actually a reference to the Simpsons film, and a couple episodes after that when Simpson came back after the film, Spider Pig making a couple appearances. So Ferrari is fast here. Yeah, Ferrari is looking fast here. That is interesting. Aston Martin's looking faster. They're looking faster than Red Bull at the moment. So it's interesting to see what is going on. Perez is faster than Verstappen right now. So this is just a matter of time. Max will probably put some time in the simulator later today, and then for FP3 come out swinging if anything, if past is prologue to what we are seeing. But moving forward, what's having happen? Well, part of it is that Red Bull is done like developing the car because they basically run out of time. They basically ran out of development time on the car for this year. And then they've moved on to next year's car. So everyone else is kind of catching up. And this could be, and it could be there's a setup issue that they're still working on. So again, someone asked about predictions. I can't predict. There's too many variables right now. Too many teams are showing pace and form right now on this track. That anything could happen at this point. And we got a Ferrari. We got Sainz going P2 now, so we've got a Ferrari 1-2 at the top. Alonso P3, Perez P4, Bottas amazingly P5 in that Alfa Romeo. That is a huge surprise. And then we got Verstappen 6, Hulkenberg 7, Stroll 8. But Hulkenberg and Stroll ahead of Hamilton. When did you hear that? Albon P10, Norris is 11th, Russell is 12th, Magnussen is 13th, Oscar is 13th, Gasly Ocon, the Alpines 15, 16 right now, Tsunoda 17th, Zoe 18th, Ricardo 19th, and Sargent 20th. Sargent is on a hard tire, so he's not doing a race-related run. I'm sorry, he's not doing a quality-related run. You got to excuse me. It is 4:51 a.m. here in Central USA. That puts us at 3:41. We have got 18 and a half minutes to go um, in this session. And we got Alonso going fastest in Sector 1. He's improved in Sector 2, but not necessarily any particular sector is fastest. Or, no, hold on. Runs on the pit. Wow, that was his previous lap. Who's out on track right now? Bottas is on an out lap. Hamilton, Albon, Norris is on an out lap. Russell's on track. Oscar's on an out track. And Sargent is on track. But Sargent is on a hard tire, so he's not doing. He's probably loaded with fuel. So. Elmas, wow. Congratulations to you, Elwax. Again, he's got his wedding is November 23rd. Uh, next Thursday. Wow. Congratulations on your impending wedding. Here we go. You do not have to repeat. Sergeant is being polite. Sergeant is on a race simulation, race data. You're seeing what that is he on the soft tire now? I don't know. The F1 graphics have been kind of weird this year. I don't know. Congratulating your pending life with servitude. I'm gonna leave that one alone. I'm gonna talk. Let's not talk about my personal life. You can again. People are wishing L Max again. Best of luck with your wedding and your future life with your wife. Red Bull is sagging in last to confuse the next team. I don't know if Red Bull doesn't not really they're sandbagging. They probably don't have the right setup. There's probably something that they need to tweak on their setup to get more power, more performance out of the car. Is really what I think what's going on. Again, this is their first practice session essentially of any where they're actually getting any data. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen in FP3 with Red Bull. People are asking about Daniel. Daniel right now is in 19th. He's 2.5 seconds off Leclerc's pace, and that the fact that he's 2.5 seconds off, shows that's a not it that's big, but it's not as big as you would think. We've got Verstappen who came into Hulkenberg came are on an outlap. Stroll is on an outlap. Alonso is about to go on an outlap. Magnussen on an outlap right now. So they've come into the pits. Those who are in the pits right now are Sainz, Alonso. Alonso just came out, and Joe. Russell just came into the pits. Yeah, I think the one thing that we can see here is that the McLarens are struggling. They're not getting the top 10 performance that we've seen in the past few races. Um, Aston Martin is performing. Um, Part of Haas is performing. Bottas is performing on this track. Alpine is not performing. That's one of the things. Is anyone worried about the call? At this point, no. I don't think anyone is worried about. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think at this point, I don't think we're worried about the cold. We are seeing how the tires are performing. They're getting the performance out of those tires. Trying to think anything else. Boom. Do they have DSS enabled? I don't know if DS. I don't know actually. I think they would be able to use DSRS DRS as they see fit. But I don't know. I don't know specifically. Talking about DRS. The first DRS zone is from turn 4 to turn 5, and that's basically the start line basically is the right leg of the pig essentially. It goes up and it turns very quickly, and that's one of the unique features of this particular track is that they go out from the start finish line into a curve. There's not a long straight there. Um, and as they get around turn 4, that's where the detection point is around there. And then from turn 4 to 5 is the first DRS zone. The next detection point is turn 13. So that is if you again look at the bottom of the page, it goes slants and then comes straight, as we see on our chart here. The when it somewhere around the where the slant hits the straight is the detection point, and the straight they basically down the strip itself is the DR zone on the second DR zone on this track. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. Because that's going to make the straight basically a huge overtake area. Jason Lopez hoping for max engine failure for an enjoyable race on Sunday. Lol. And that's one of the things that could happen is that team cars could be because they're literally they're getting into eighth gear on the Vegas straight. So they are definitely pushing the engines. So we could see someone blow their engine on the straight is one of the potential things that could happen. Whether it's Max or not, I don't think it would be Max. Someone's asking what happened to Russell. Russell's P12. He's been pretty much invisible this session. Ooh, did he touch the wall? I think Logan may have tapped the wall. He should be okay, but it did look like he may have tapped the wall. Did George Russell do the same thing? Ooh, he over went past. I think that's turn 12. Basically, is missing. They're missing that turn. We've got 10 minutes to go in this session right now. Again, this is the Racing Statistics YouTube channel, and this has been Grash with you. A very sleepy Grash at this point. We got 10 more minutes. We'll be good. Hulkenberg going to P7 again. He's on a medium tire, gone 8 laps. Um, we were probably not going to see Max or Perez jump above. They're doing a race simulation. They're been 17 and 15 laps on their tires. Hulkenberg is 10 laps. Hamilton another 12 laps on a medium tire. So they're doing race simulation runs. Definitely seeing the degradation on those medium tires. Just pushing, seeing what's going to happen as they go. 15, 17, 20, 25 laps on those tires. Joanne is asking, didn't Ferrari submit a request to avoid the penalty? Yes, they did. And ultimately, what the stewards have come back down is they denied their request to avoid the penalty because the stewards basically say they have no mechanism in place within the rules that will allow them to account for that something happened on the track. Now that's where it is right now. I expect Ferrari to push. I would think Ferrari might push that again further. Another go to another level of appeal about that, and I would like go for it. People are like, oh, I mean, that's be it. But ultimately, I mean, the rules are the rules in this case, and that's it. Really does that. It sucks, but it is what it is, unfortunately. It is again. Let's come back to FP3 tomorrow. See what's happened after we've had some time. Again, we've had the first, the first uh, rejection from the stewards. We'll see how this goes going forward. Yeah, Van Townsend is basically talking about why there are no fans in the stands right now, mostly because they couldn't keep the hospitality and any of those logistics people up and running because it was just so late. There was no way to understand. Um, there's no way that they could have like accounted for an incident on FP1 going in that started a 2.5 hour delay on FP2. So, well, the fans be back. They'll be back in the stands tomorrow for FP3 and for quali. Again, it is literally 3:53 in the morning in Vegas. So it's you know how could you account for that situation? I don't think you could. What is the prediction for pole time? I have no clue. I mean, we've done 138s. I have a feeling that we may push into 137s, but I just don't know. Not on a 131. That's way too much. We're talking a couple seconds off of where we're at right now, 138s. Because they're going to be doing quali at the same. Well, it'll be a little bit warmer for quali. Rain in Las Vegas would be just okay. As far as I understand right now, there is no. We did have rain yesterday. That during the open ceremony, there was a light rain. It was more than light rain. There was enough rain. Um, but I don't think the last I had checked that there was a potential for rain after this session. But I don't think that I think that the forecast has changed. So I don't think we're getting any type of weather um, at all going forward this weekend. So they specifically gathering data are doing that slow in here. It could be both. Could be honestly both with them. I'm not really sure what to tell you. Like right now, Sonoda's 17th and Ricardo's 19th. Not necessarily. You've got Joe and Sargent down there. I mean, the Alpines are marginally better, 15 and 16. And yeah, GCAN is we've got a flag in sector 1 and 2. That's probably our favorite turn off. They got the sphere showing the Mercedes logo on it. It looks really good. We've gone back to green running, so someone basically went off the track and came back on. Expect this to happen in FP3 still, and I have a feeling that this may still happen into quali. So someone's quali might get ruined because they screwed up, and it probably might happen. Someone might go off um, during the race as well. So that's something to keep an eye on. With enough people who've gone off and come back on in many different ways. Um, Again, we're looking at Ooh, who's behind Hamilton? Where's Hamilton? I think it's no, it's not Russell. It was probably Joe. It was behind Hamilton. Just saw a huge sparks off of a car behind Hamilton a few seconds ago, and it looks like it was Joe who was the driver who caused that spark, that huge spray of sparks, which is interesting. What's going on with George? George right now is P12. He's in the garage, and Logan. Yeah, Logan's apologizing for being messy. He's, you know, learning what's going on with his, well, being a rookie, he's still learning this track like everyone else. We've got 3 minutes to go in this session right now. We've got, again, the Ferraris doing 1-2, Alonso 3, Perez 4-5. I see no one doing any improvements on their times. So I think they're doing more race simulations right now. If anyone goes in the pits right now, it's more to get a change of tires, more likely. But Russell's the only one who's in the pits. I If there's something not wrong with his car, I don't think there is. He should be coming out in a moment or two to be out on track so he can do a race starts after the session ends. Christian thinks that Alpha is gathering data, and that's possibly what's going on. Though they're 17, 18. That's pretty far back. What's up with the McLarens? They're 11th and 14th right now. They maybe don't have the right setup. They haven't dialed into the setup that they really need to be in the top 10. I mean, the again, Albin is in the top 10. Stroll is in the top 10. Hulkenberg is in the top 10. Bottas is in the top 10. And Alonso is in the top 10. So we got a lot of different people who are not normally in the top 10. And again, the drivers are getting somewhere between 30 and like the lowest I can see right now is Gasly at 30. I think Stroll did 38. Tsunoda's done 38. So they've done in the 30s, almost approaching 40 laps in this 90-minute session. Tanks isn't, remember, the track is not rubbered in either, and the track won't be very much rubbered in. So qualifications track evolution is going to be a big factor in play as they go through. Again, it's a new track with, again, yellow flag in sector 1 and 2, who has gone off. We'll see what's usually an indication that again, back to green flag, someone's gone off the track. But it is new asphalt, new track, new asphalt. Um, so the track evolution is going to be massive during qualification. See, Danny Rick did a 140 on all mediums. Yeah, and at this point, time is about to expire. 2 seconds, 1 second, and there we go. We got to our checkered flag. So session has finally come to an end. We've now seen probably what this track can do. Unfortunately, we did not get a red flag in this session, so my counter goes back to 0. So I had a 2 session run before stuff happened. Though I kind of want to count 3 because there was a red flag in the race and I was here for that, even though I wasn't on stream. Again, my my streak has been sessions. Um, so that's yeah, it is what it is. So here we go. We've got some data on the track. Again, Russell again is on an outlap right now, and he's basically doing the outlap so he can do basically that practice start at the start finish line. Again, this is the Race to YouTube channel. This has been Grash. I've been your commentator for you tonight, this morning, as it may be. It is now 6 a.m. So what's interesting is basically it's now 4 a.m. in Las Vegas time. In less than 30 minutes, about 25 minutes from now, these roads will be back open to traffic again, to normal local traffic. And that's one of the issues that they're dealing with is that these roads are being used by the public. So Bottas getting a black and white flag for crossing the pit lane, line. So, thank for those of you who managed it, who've been here all night. Those of you who have been here through this practice, crazy night. Been a crazy night so far. And I think this is Alonso. One of the Haas's just did their practice start. Yeah, here's Alonso doing his practice start on F1 TV. We will be back again for FP3. I'm gonna have a nap too, so I'm awake at FP3. I'm literally going to bed. So because I've been up all night, that's very interesting. Yeah, good night, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. If you are falling asleep like I am, go get to bed, go get some rest. We'll do this again for FP3 tonight. For me, it's tonight. Some of you, it's probably going to be tomorrow. I have no clue what time zone. This is the time zone for this. The race for this has been pretty crazy. So specifically, Science is getting a energy store. His penalty is coming from he needed to replace his energy stores. One of the units he had to replace. He would be his third unit out of his third unit. He's allowed two, so that will be end up being a 10-place penalty. That's under the rules. We could see. I would expect Ferrari to push the issue about the fact that they had to take that because of a damage from the track that's out of his control. I would see. I would. I would like to. I'd be interesting to see if there's more to that story when it comes to FP3. When is FP3? I'm going to give it in Central Time. So right now it is 6 a.m. Central. Practice 3 is 22:30, so it's at 10:30 p.m. So same time as practice 1. Qualifying is at 2 a.m. in the morning. When what would have been again FP2 would have been at 2 a.m. in the morning. Local track time. Practice 3 is going to be 10. So it's going to be 8:30 in the morning for practice 3. It will be midnight for qualifying in Vegas, and then Friday going to Saturday for Vegas, and then Saturday night at 10 p.m. is the race. So interesting setup that we've got going on. Again, this is about the same. I think within an hour we are in the same start time ish that you would have for the with time conversions obviously for the Melbourne. And we'll see you tomorrow, whenever FP3 is. We will see you then. All right.